more than 7 billion people on the planet. We have more and more people on the planet. It's very difficult. And I don't see a big mass movement. Even the politicians have not really come up with very clear targets and action items. They are scared of industry and other lobbyists who say no problem, let's just keep going as we go. Everybody thinks, oh, we don't have money to invest. But actually, if we would have invested 10 years ago in water preservation and preserving some wetlands and making houses more, harvesting the rainwater and rainwater efficient, water efficient, we might not need to spend the 10 billion ringgit now on a water pipe from Pahang to Selangor. So, you know, we need politicians that think the long term rather than just short term. And, you know, let me be quite blunt here. We might arrive at a point in time where Mother Nature is so fed up, she doesn't need humans. This earth doesn't need our grandchildren. The earth will survive by itself. So, what to do now? If you get pushed to the max, if you get squeezed to the max, maybe there'll be a reaction by Mother Nature in the future. I don't know. Hopefully we can avoid that. But so far, too few humans are changing their way of living.
Is there any last questions?
Yeah.
I have a question. If I can recall back, a few months back, our country was severely hit by the shortage of raw water supply. And the people in the Klang Valley, we are severely hit by these cases. And if I can recall a few days ago, one location in northern part of Malaysia was hit by a twister. It's never happened in our country. So do you think this kind of event can occur in the future, or is just a remote case?
That one is very difficult for me to predict because we can't predict the future. But the fact that it has happened recently, especially the twister, if there's never been a twister before and there's been the first twister ever, that is an indication that weather patterns are getting more extreme, even in Malaysia. Malaysia has been a country that's been very blessed in terms of no major earthquakes because it's not directly on the fault line like Indonesia is or Japan is. But if we see twisters like that, you know, that's a serious thing. The water shortages is a combination of weather pattern, dry at that time, and more consumption than provision of infrastructure. That has a lot to do as well with management and infrastructure, and the fact that at this point in time, very few people in Malaysia bother about water efficiency because water is cheap. I mean, in some parts of Malaysia you get it free of charge. What's the incentive to save water if you get it virtually free? There is a very high leakage in the water pipes in Malaysia as well. The non-revenue water, I think, is 40+%. So some of it is down to the management of all of that infrastructure could be improved. But if you can't charge for money, or if you can't collect your bill that you're sending to people for the effluent, then there's very little money you have to actually repair it. So it's politically a sensitive issue as well because a lot of politics is involved in the whole water infrastructure. So I would say water is a question of management and of long-term plans. But the twister, that is really worrying and is maybe an indication of more things to come. But